Welcome back to the Good Talk, our recap and Q&A show where we go over the game. We just played and answer your questions, and this was a special one because we played our very first game of Necromunda, and we had a blast. What a great game.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
It actually ended up being really close, but it was just funny and just such a good time. It's a very cinematic game.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was, like you said, it was funny. It was actually really interesting to play.
Yeah, very dynamic.
Very dynamic. Lots of interesting decisions, and even like bad decisions or mistakes that led to interesting things
They were
happening,
totally funny.
right?
Still,
it was so like emergent.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. This was we haven't played very many games of Necromunda, so it was good to kind of like get such a cool and fun game. Despite it being one of our earliest ones. I think I even learned a lot from that game. Every game, I'm learning so much, right?
Yeah, it's basically one of our first serious games, so we wanted to kind of like learn the game on air with you. You know, we wanted to show that the game is something that could be played by new people. We were hoping to bring new people into it because it is a great game and it is a great time to be starting this game. Again, new starter set coming out, cool new video game coming out. The last starter set was great, and I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great time to get into it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got to play a couple of our favorite gangs. I was playing Escher. You were playing
my Palanite Enforcers.
Palanites, that's
right.
right. And Patrol Team C. How about that?
Yeah, so Patrol Team C, the underdogs, they they got close.
They did. They
got shocking close, but this was the demise of Team C. Every single person got killed. And in our headcanon, this was actually the story in which they died.
Yeah.
And we're going to play future games with them as a prequel to this.
That's right.
Like their heyday.
Young Hale.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Young Cat. And it's going to be great. So I really look forward to having a campaign. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be super cool. And one of the, like we were talking about the emergence of kind of what's happening in the game. And it was, again, one of those cases where, you know, we knew the rules, we played it a bit, but like it really takes all those individual situations coming up, and that's to me that's what makes it the most interesting, right?
There were a lot of little edge cases that maybe hadn't come up in previous games. And so you really have to. You could see how deep the game actually is.
Exactly, and how fun it could be also for campaign play.
Oh, absolutely. Well, half the rule book is the campaign rules.
At least half,
right? It's actually probably more than half is the campaign rules and the different campaigns and the war gear you could collect along the way. Because my guys are police officers, I can actually like arrest you, and I could put handcuffs on you, and I could take you alive, which gives me intel for the next match, or I can go through your pockets and steal all your stash of goods, and really build up my stash that way. And there's so many interesting mechanics that we weren't really playing with because they're part of the campaign system.
Yeah, there's, so each of our leaders had the primary skills. There's also secondary skills you can get, especially with other characters. And you talked about things that your clan can do, your gang can do. Mine has ways of like, we talked about the chem toxins and all that stuff. I had a bit of that, but you can actually craft like custom ones where you pick like 3 different traits.
That's
and
awesome.
You make it, and it actually gives rules for actually selling that to other players, even during your
so
campaign.
Cool.
And just tons and tons of stuff. I want to get Escher's cool because they're one of the few gangs that have like multiple boxes.
Oh yeah,
they
right.
Have the Wild Runner.
And they're in the new starter set
as
well.
They are, yeah, exactly. It's the same one. But they also have the Wild Runners that look like the weird shaman ladies with the like mutant kitty cats. So I need to pick up some.
And then of course there's all these. You can recruit kind of just one-off people for your gang, like psychers. I could even recruit criminals to work with me.
That'd be cool. Cool.
And you could get beasts. And there's all kinds of stuff.
The ogres work with anyone as well. That new box set, which you almost did for.
I was almost going to do the ogres, but I wanted to do the enforcers first. So it's a game with so much possibility. Really excited to do a campaign. You let us know if you thought it was really cool and something you'd like to see more of, because putting together a campaign is a lot of work. For us. We have to do multiple games. They're going to take the place of 40K games. And so let us know if you'd rather see, a small campaign, 3-4 games of Necromunda, or you'd just rather see more 40K.
Totally.
Definitely let us know in chat, but also let us know in the Discord, right?
Absolutely.
I'll probably put a vote up.
Somewhere. Good. Yeah, this is a good testing ground, right?
Exactly.
We knew we wanted to kick it off. We like this already. We love the train, we love the models. So like we're going to play it regardless, but whether or not you guys want to see that, you'll let us know in the Discord.
Yeah. No matter what, we probably won't get back to doing another game for at least another month, right?
Correct.
I'm actually going to be out of the studio for a couple weeks, maybe about 5 weeks, and I'll be going for work, and we're going to actually have guests for the first time in a while.
Yep.
We're going to have, of course, Zach here producing while Bridger's playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
And we have just a lot of new faces that are really going to help create some new interesting dynamics.
Exactly. That's kind of one of the things is like it's time. We can do it.
Yeah.
We have many of our closest friends are fully vaccinated.
That's right.
Now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have tons of guests. A few of you have seen before, and some of which you have not.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. We even have a game on this Saturday.
Bridger
We're
versus Blood
We're
Angels,
playing
right?
this Saturday, Blood Angels against Tyranids, right?
Tyranids! I'm going to bring the macaronis again because I really, really like that list. So that's going to be fun.
That'll be exciting to
and
see.
Matt will be
Because that's what last time we did Blood Angels, it was Blood Angels against Tyranids, but it was swapped, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was playing, yeah.
He's like, look at me. I am the Blood Angels now.
That's right. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we do some mail? We've got some mail today?
Mail
Yeah, let's do it.
time.
So what is this?
So this is from Super Edie.
Okay.
This was, apologies, Super Edie. This is the one that was kind of lost in the construction earlier, but we have it.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's safe.
Well, thanks a lot, Super Reader. What
Thanks,
is it?
Super Edie. Let's take a look. It's packing peanuts.
You know, always my favorite.
Yeah.
Just what I wanted.
Ah, delicious.
I've always wanted packing
We're going to
peanuts.
pretend on stream.
Hey guys, feel free to read out loud. I have no idea what it says, so hopefully it's fine. Super Reader here, and I humbly present the end result of what just might be one of the single best or models I've spent the most time and attention on. Introducing Chapter Master Chi-Fei Pak, because of course his name is a pun. I did what I could to make it possible to field him as a chapter master or chief apothecary, but there's something deeply concerning about a medic that carries a sword as he steps on your chest. Oh well. Enjoy, and I'd be intrigued to know Brian's genuine, unfiltered opinion on the sword lighting. Do I make the grade, or do I have too much to learn?
Oh man, let's see it.
Let's
Take
see.
a look.
Yes. It's the secret leader. Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
that's really amazing actually.
So he's basically like a half chapter master, half apothecary. Because we joke that the chapter master or the apothecary is like
He's the actual
really
chapter
the
master.
actual leader.
Right.
He's the strongest. He looks really awesome.
That's
He's
so
got like a wolf
good.
pelt.
Oh my gosh.
He's this cool purple color, so he's in like Titans.
He even has a Titan logo
He has
on
a
his
Titan logo on his
shield.
little
He has a
piece,
shoulder pad
which
too.
looks good. So we've got the sword here, and he's got like some wash with the lightning on it.
Yeah.
The lightning is, of course, so hard to do. Wow, I really love the purple and everything. Take a look.
I'm really
It's
impressed.
great. Yeah, it's great. This guy will definitely make his way in. I don't know whether to play him as an apothecary or chapter master.
Very cool lightning.
Why not both?
I think we need to come up with I think the Titans Special Legion
Yeah.
is all apothecaries.
Oh, really good job.
Oh god. Yes.
I'm impressed.
It's really good, yeah. Everyone is an apothecary in addition. That would be so terrifying. You just model everyone with the
It's so
apothecary pieces.
expensive to get all those apothecary pieces.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like $10 a model just to get the apothecary.
Yeah. It's like your servitors are apothecaries. Everyone's an apothecary.
This is super
Oh
clean.
man, imagine the servitor and then also the
Yeah,
apothecary
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
He has like 8 arms.
This is so good.
But the apothecary is like a double apothecary.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
of course. He needs 2 apothecary backpacks.
Yeah.
That's right.
He can use the strat to res 2 models.
Both his arms have the little
Double Northeastern.
Northeastern.
Yeah.
And his feet too.
Yeah, he just jumps onto 2 people's chests.
That's why he's
while
standing
stands
up, guy. He's actually resing him. He's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh god. You know?
It's perfect.
Thank you, Super Edie.
All right. Now this was for me, and I'm pretty sure it's from Dark Angel Martin. So let's take a look.
All right.
I actually don't know. I don't know for sure. Nobody has claimed ownership of this, but so we have a sticker.
Okay.
It says the Emperor presents, created with his finest gene seed, Dark Angels,
That's
Okay.
amazing.
and
I see why the Dark Angel Martin.
Yeah. You have to present that prominently.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
I'll wear it. I'll wear that sticker.
Should.
And then we also have
What does that say?
the same thing on a coffee mug. So the Emperor presents, created with his finest gene seed, Dark Angels, Adeptus Astartes.
That's amazing.
It's very good.
Well,
good.
it's really teaching Bridger to appreciate the Dark Angels for the loyalists they are.
Is
me
this
the
a
sticker. I'm
packing
gonna put that
slip
on your
or a
car.
note inside? I don't know if this might be a note, but it might also just
That
be a
would
packing
be
slip.
wild.
That'd
If
be
there
wild.
was a secret note inside.
Well, normally they
That's
put
it in a
packing
bottle.
slips inside. It is a packing slip.
Okay, good. I was hoping it wasn't like a secret message in a bottle.
Yeah.
And it's just like in whispered tones.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Dark Angels are coming for you.
That's amazing.
It's like Cypher is going to get you.
You know, I'll use this as my new water bottle. I don't drink coffee. I'm not Adrian.
And that is in unto itself a kind of heresy.
I think so, honestly. Jeez.
So I think that kind of works.
I love it.
He's using the Dark Angels mug for heresy.
I just love the amount of like time and energy that Martin has put into trolling you.
Well, you know, it's paying
It's like
off.
significant portion.
Paying off.
You're,
He
yeah,
has crept into my thinking. Like,
Yeah.
we were talking about games for the next month.
Sure.
Because Adrian and I are going to be playing a lot of games for the next month.
We are.
And I did say some crazy things.
You did.
Is he playing Dark Angels?
He said he played certain things.
It might happen.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Might happen, Brian.
He's like, I don't know what I'm going to play. I only play Custodians and Blood Angels. And then we were like sitting down to plan it out, and he was like, oh, I could play this and this. I was like, Richard, what? And he's like, oh, stop. What are you doing? Oh, man.
I pretty much just went down the shelves and I was like, this and this and this. And I kind of want to play that, and I should play this. And
yeah, why not?
It's literally everything.
And I think the vote might have turned at some point, but while I was watching the vote, Tao was winning.
That's right. So this is for next Tuesday.
That was like your first army.
Pretty sure I'm playing, Well, people think I'm playing my Tau models on Tuesday.
Exactly.
And that is not happening.
Not to be confused.
I would love to see that.
No.
That would be amazing.
No, that would be awful. I might play one of my models. I might play a Storm Surge.
Your Storm Surge.
It's like
because that was your profile picture
the
forever.
least poorly painted.
Oh, you're
I think it's still my profile picture.
No,
And it's like
that's so good.
the least poorly painted model for Tau that I have.
I'm excited for
Good
this.
metric. I was going to look at the vote, but yeah.
But it's not based, so.
That is Tuesday.
You should base it.
You should base it.
You should base it on air.
I don't know about that,
During
Brian.
Just flock it. Just put some glue.
All right.
All right.
Let's get to some questions.
Let's get to some questions.
Yeah.
Just a few.
So these were saved from before.
Okay.
Cool.
For the Q&A, thank you, Jev or JEV.
Thank you.
Love the show, guys. Bloody Rose Sisters tournament list. Canoness, Palatine, Triumph, 3x5 Sisters, Preacher, Magifier, 18 Repentia, 2x5 Arcoflagellants, 2x5 Seraphim, 1x10 with Hand Flamer, so more Seraphim,
Okay.
3 Mortis Engines, 2x5 Multi-Melter Retributors, 3 Rhinos. Do you have any feedback or advice to deal with 60 Warriors and Cheese of Dark Eldar?
I'm glad you said that. I like it a lot, and I'm torn mostly about the flagellants.
In smaller squads.
In the smaller squads, because on one hand, smaller squads are better for dealing with witches. On the other hand, you need a big squad to deal with warriors because you have to do it all in one, right? You have to kill them before they can do the reanimations, and
Exactly.
5 is not going to do it. 10 is even going to be tough, but you know it's much better.
Yeah, especially if you soften them up a little first.
Yeah, I think I do lean towards if you're worried about those 20 warriors, you need a 10-man of flagellants.
The warriors are less of a problem than the witches, though. So would you like tech into a better game against Dark Eldar?
It's worth noting, everybody's like going crazy over the win rate of Drukhari. Their play percentage, like the percentage of players playing Drukhari is like 3%.
Sure. Not everyone has the army. It's hard to get your hands on.
Sure.
More people will get it.
3%.
If you're on top tables, you're very likely to play it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
But
rare
if you're
army,
just,
actually. It's
like,
not one of the most common
If you're a
factions.
middle table champion, if you're looking to go 3-3 at a tournament, you go the whole tournament without playing Drukhari,
I agree
it's
with
pretty
that.
likely
Yeah,
to not face
I think that's
Drukhari.
very accurate.
No, it's true. That's what I was saying the other day. That Sean Naden was like, I think there's a couple interesting things that have good matchups against them. It's like Guard and a certain Craftworld Eldar. And then we're like, but how can you can't win with those armies against other things?
Right.
And he's like, you just have to win the first couple rounds, and then all you play is Drukhari, which you're good against, and it's great. And I was like, okay.
That's some top tier metagaming right there. That's
Pretty
like
good.
engineering a path.
That's right. But you do bring up a good point, which is like, it's not as common.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not Space Marines. Space Marine fall every game with Space Marines because everybody owns Space Marines and they were clearly the best faction.
And everyone's ready to fight
But
them.
this is not that.
Yeah.
They're more abusive of the rules or they're stronger,
Yeah.
but nobody has Drukhari.
Very few people have them, yeah.
So do you think that you would make changes then in light of that?
To Drukhari?
No, to
this
the list.
Oh.
Would you tech into a better Drukhari game or into a better Necron game? Because Necrons
I would
are...
lean into the Necron matchup because I think a lot more people play Necrons.
Interesting.
And it's
I
not-
don't have the numbers
it's not
back that
bad
up, but-
against Drukhari, it's just worse.
No, yeah. The Seraphim will be great against Drukhari
That's
because
right.
you can get up there. And I do like the small squads for that because you don't need a million attacks.
So put the flagellants together. We're only giving you a small update.
It's all tiny,
right? Because
yeah.
the list
Small
was great.
stuff.
Because the list was great.
I'm digging it.
There's no, what's the Rhino with guns on it?
Oh yeah.
Emulators?
But he has a
There's no
third
emulators.
squad. But he has a third squad of retributors.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Oh, there's three
No,
of them.
no, it's 2x5 retributors.
Oh, I thought I heard 3 by 5.
3 rhinos. But I would rather have 2 emulators than 3 rhinos.
Well,
Yeah, no.
Is that how the math breaks down?
He has a lot of squads, which is fine. And the Melta, that's enough Melta to get a lot done. So I think it's fine.
yeah, the tough thing is like you need the Rhinos for Repentia.
Exactly.
Everything else can fit into the emulator, but you need a bigger transport. So that's where it is.
Depending on your game, the Arcoflagellants, the Repentia.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, and the Arcoflagellants as well, because they're tough, but they're not that tough. So that's where it's tough.
Agreed.
It's a great list, though.
I think it's a solid list. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Let's take it over to continuing the Q&A. Thank you, CJ. Hey, Titans. I'm so amped to learn this game with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad to have you. Can you tell my best friend, Lopsy, that he really needs to base his minis? Thanks.
This is true.
You really do need to base your
Bridger.
minis.
Yeah, Bridger, you need to base your minis.
All right, this is like a 4-year-old model that I
So
only
he has 4
played.
years to base it.
That's so much work.
That I only played once
He was so
in
proud
an
of
APOC
it.
game.
He made it
No,
his profile
twice.
picture.
Do you know how often Brian and I paint and base models to use once?
For one game. Well, for one live
Constantly.
game that goes out to tens of thousands of
Constantly.
people.
All the time.
Yeah. Base your models. And like legitimately, it transforms your army, makes it look so much better.
And it's one of the easiest and most rewarding steps.
Yeah, it
Like
finishes it.
it finishes it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many easy, nice basing materials. It's easy.
I'm obsessed with AK now. You
Yeah, the AK terrain, they're little tubs that you get. It's like glue mixed with sand.
It's so good.
It's
so cheap.
You kind of just mix it on.
It's amazing.
It's really good, and then you dry brush it. So those are great. Go get that.
You could even get the mud color one. You don't have to do anything.
That's true. That's crazy. And that's true. And what you could do is just buy extra bases, just smear it on, and then just rip your bases off, your models off the other base and glue them to these.
Yep.
It's really fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Grant. Howdy, Titans.
Hey.
What are some Necromunda models or factions that y'all personally enjoyed most for conversions, if any? Those Genestealer cult grow up so fast.
They do indeed. Well, it's funny you mentioned Genestealer cult. I did a commission for one of our friends, Brian Leva, who also has a YouTube channel, and I did a Genestealer / Cawdor conversion. And it looks so, they're like so perfect for each other because they have that kind of low tech vibe, kind of maybe human, maybe not. So those are great conversions. And I've never actually used the Delac gang for conversions, but they are classic for that, right?
Right. They've got a very unique like overcoat kind of look.
Yeah.
Really cool. The models are obviously they're great. You can easily convert them into a lot of things for the Guard Army, for the Sisters Army, for obviously Genestealer cults as you're pointing out.
Naturally.
So much good stuff. Custom Inquisitors. Pretty much everything in there is great. I was actually going to build my Ogren for my Guard out of the Necromunda Ogren. I just couldn't quite get the bits to line up in such a way that they looked like they had the right weapons. Without doing a lot of extra kit buying, which was just like, this is too much for just Ogren.
Yeah.
Wow, there is a line to draw for Brian.
Apparently.
Well, I don't know.
He's got to be in the mood for it.
Yeah, I gotta like really want it.
Yeah. You know what's, speaking of expensive conversions, the Ambots make really cool Meganobs.
For sure they do.
Like, that's just a Meganob. Come on. Look at that.
That would be great.
All right, thank you, not Grant. I mean, thank you, Grant, but we just did that.
He's like, no, thank you, Grant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zevaton. Hey, Titans, I'm excited to see some Necromunda content. On a side note, I've been having some trouble against my friend's Blood Angels with my AdMac. Any tips or advice for this matchup? Priests? Would you say priests? I would say priests.
Priests are good for punishing Blood Angels for doing what they want to do.
Yes.
Especially now.
And use them as a counterpunch, not as first strike.
Exactly.
And then once you have your 3-up inbalm, Blood Angels have a rough time getting through 3-up inbalms.
Oh, yeah.
They would just have to
2-up
avoid
inbalm.
them forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do also need to have them in those transports to make sure that the Blood Angel doesn't have the reach
get to them
to
first.
pop them before you get to do your thing. That really is like the best solution,
Yeah.
right? But
So
you have to be
Fulgurite
careful.
Electro Priests in Dune Riders, 2 units of 10 would already do you very well.
It's great.
Beyond that, you have to bait them into putting a key unit up on a point. So it's like a lot of your shooting stuff can stay pretty far back. You throw anything out on the point, like really cheap stuff, like
Rangers, Vanguard.
But even faster than that, you got the
Sulfur Hounds.
the Sulfur Hounds,
Yeah.
and you've got the Pterodaxi. You throw them up on the point, and you try to just have more units than they do. And then every time they put something valuable out there, you can just put more Pterodaxi and then just shoot that thing off the point. And always be screened such that they can never come in and get a good charge at your castle. And eventually they'll run out of assets.
Right.
And they'll have to bring something big out onto the point. And then that's where you could blast them and then take the board.
Yeah.
Totally. Well said.
Alrighty, thank you, James. Hey, guys, just became a member. Welcome. James.
Welcome.
Any advice on going from playing with friends to your first tournament? Like to try it, but I would like to try it, but I feel like I don't know enough yet.
Well, you're going to learn at the tournament.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fine. Like, you're not going to the tournament for your first time to be a boss the first time.
You go with your friends.
Yeah, that's for sure. Go with your
great,
friends. And I'd say, how many like, if you're trying to actually get good at tournaments, how many do you think it takes before you even have a shot at winning?
20?
Yeah, maybe around 20-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. If you lose all your games at a first tournament, that's about right.
Yeah, 100%.
You know
For a
what I
long
mean?
time. Like, it's literally, you manage your expectations. You come for trying to just play better, try to get that first win, that second win. And one day you'll find out that you're disappointed that you won all your games but didn't win the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
That does happen. It can take literally years, and that's okay, right?
It depends how many events you go to also. It can take like 3 months if you just go to all the events.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they don't have time to go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
And so it's a slower rate, and that's totally cool.
Totally.
So be kind. Your opponents will be kind to you. Everyone is actually super kind. So I mean, there's lots of misconceptions about what tournaments are like, but everyone's super chill. That's it, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Your first game is always going to be your hardest. Not always, but a lot of the times because you get random pairings. So it's like you have a chance to be paired with the person who's going to win the tournament in your first round.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged on that first round.
Yeah.
You know, your next round, if you did really badly, you're going to be paired up with someone who's closer and closer to your skill level. It's like you start a new video game and the algorithm doesn't know how to matchmake you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be something like that.
Yeah, because for better or worse, that's actually a thing. Right? That's actually a decision that when you show up to a tournament, your ranking, like for example, we play ITC in the US, and like your ranking in ITC has no bearing on your first matchup.
It should, but it doesn't.
It should, but it doesn't.
Yeah, in most competitive games or scenes, it would, but currently it's just random.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a weird thing.
So yeah, you can easily be, like, I don't know your local event or whatever, but you could easily be paired with like the best player in the world.
Yeah.
But you would be so lucky to do that.
Right, you can learn a lot.
Because you would learn so much, and you only actually get better by losing to these amazing people.
That's the best way
That's
to
a
do
good
it.
point. Ask questions. When the game's over, you're like, hey, what could I have done better? What
would
could
ask
I
the
have done
whole
differently? You might get different answers during and after the game.
Not if a person knows they've got you. Like if you've got like a person who's like top 15 ITC, they know they're going to beat you. They'll help you. They will. Almost
I
all
would
of them.
not say it's the most sporting thing to ask your opponent what to do mid-game.
Listen,
like-
I have very regularly had people where they're like, this is my first tournament, and we know it's a foregone conclusion they're not going to beat me. And I would talk them through the entire game. And I know a lot of other people who have done the same. I've seen it many times.
It's fine for you to reach out as the person like with the knowledge, so long as both of you are
Well,
like.
they're not forcing it. Like I've had people ask me, like, "Hey, can you give me some pointers?" Like, sure, for
it's
sure.
very strange to ask as the person losing your opponent how to play the game.
It depends on the relationship.
Mid
but it's
game,
fine.
that's a very.
No, not mid. These people ask me at the beginning.
Yeah, that's
That's so weird.
I would not.
No,
do
I think
that.
it's fine. They're like, "Hey, can you, how, give me some advice?"
If you're
help me
cool
out."
with it, that's great.
I think it's great.
I think a lot of people will not be cool.
I
with it.
agree.
fine.
It depends where the onus is.
What
right?
you want to
That's
do?
what he's
Do
saying.
you want to charge this Tau Castle?
Yeah. No wonder these people never beat you. You're like, no. Let me walk you through what you do.
No, but I would teach them things that like should be obvious to everyone else, but they're not.
Right.
Like,
Right.
And so yeah, sure, they're going to make a mistake, and it's going to super let me win the game. But I'm playing as though they're going to do at least the obvious default thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to teach them that obvious default thing. It's not going to impact my ability
Yeah.
to win, but I'll at least help them
one-
understand. You know.
I often offer advice as well.
Yeah.
When somebody will be like, they'll be contemplating their turn, and they'll sometimes talk out loud. They're like, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. Sometimes people don't ask the right questions. They don't ask the probing questions.
That's
like,
right.
could you do this? Could you do that?
Right.
And so I don't give them advice like, do
you tell
this
them
or
the
do that. But I'm
information,
like, they'll say like, oh, maybe I should charge this. And I'll be like, I can Overwatch on 5s.
Yes. Yeah. Just so you know, I don't know if you're thinking about doing this thing, but this
Yeah.
does this.
Right.
That's just like there. Right.
Right.
I will say, even now, even if it's like not a learning game, I'll be like, oh man, I'm really not sure if that was the right call. Well, we'll have to talk about that afterwards. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts then. Right.
That's a great way to put it.
like
That's
flagging
good.
a moment.
That's right. Yeah. Put a pin in it.
Yeah. All right, thanks again, James. Play Blood Angels and adding Blade Guard to my list. Any
Nice.
advice how to use them as they're slower than the rest of my army? Also, what psychic powers do you like in Blood Angels? Well, the psychic powers one is easy. You don't take any of the Blood Angel psychic powers. You take Space Marine psychic powers. You take Veil of Time, Null Zone, the 5-up Invuln.
Psychic Fortress.
Psychic
Psychic
Fortress.
Fortress.
That's it. Just those three.
Those three
That's it.
are the best.
Yep.
Definitely take Psychic Fortress. The other two,
No, they're good.
Dealer's choice.
Yeah. Fight First is very strong, as we know, with Veil of Time.
Turn off Invuln's pretty good.
And turning off Invulns is game winning in the right match.
Yeah.
in several of the right matches.
Yeah, you can turn on an invul and then turn it off, flex on them.
Yeah.
Unless you have a German codex, then it turns off only the enemies.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I gotta get me one of those.
Man, that's a good codex.
I'll be like, oh yeah, this is my codex. They're like,
Oh yeah.
aren't you American? And we're like, oh no. We're getting it. So that's the psychic part.
So
I agree.
Bladeguard are slow compared to the rest of Blood Angels. How do you?
They have a different role.
They do. Yeah, so
You got this.
the blade guard are slower, and that's their job. Their job is either it's a response, and it's also for anchoring on a point, right? They're gonna get in that point that you need to hold and take it. Whereas a lot of the other Blood Angels units are for either trading up on a point. You're throwing your assault intercessors to kill a bunch of things, take the point, knowing they're gonna die. Or there are things like Sangar, Death Company that can kind of work similarly, but they project themselves further at a more targeted.
You don't want them just sitting out in the open on a point.
Yeah, they respond to things. The Blade Guard forces your opponent to respond.
Yes, exactly. It's a very, very different role.
It is, and they're both great.
Very little things. This is a game of not just grabbing an objective, but holding it to the next turn.
Yeah.
The Blood Angels have nothing that does that especially well, except the Blade Guard.
Yep.
Right? And Space Marines, this is what makes Blade Guard good. They get up on the point and they have the chance to hold it till the next turn.
Yep.
Because they're hard to shoot off, they're hard to fight off.
Yeah.
Cool, you want to put your troops on it and fight me? Great, I'll take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Rowdy. For my custom Space Marine Adeptus Astartes army, I want to also make custom lore, strats, relics, psychic powers.
Cool.
Would I be able to play this beyond friendly games at home? Could I even play it at a local game shop? Yes, I would say that as long as you and your opponent agree to it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't expect that everybody at your local game shop would be okay with this.
Right.
Like a pickup game, I think most people might say yes, being polite, but they wouldn't be.
They wouldn't enjoy it.
They wouldn't be
necessarily.
happy with
I'd
it.
be thrilled. Yeah.
But if you, in advance, before you ask them to play a game, before you're talking about what armies you're playing, you're saying, hey, I have this weird codex. You want to, like, take a look at it?
Right. Try it
like, I want to play this. Are you interested in playing that?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's
Make
exactly
sure they're
the way
cool
to do
with
it.
Yeah, check them in advance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you would never be able to play it anything beyond.
You also,
right?
sometimes you might watch, like in a pickup game, you might put people in a weird position where it's like, hey, let's play this pickup game. Cool, I've got these like special rules. Like they don't want to say no. Like you're clearly had a lot of fun. You put this thing in, but like they don't want to do it. You're gonna see. I've played with a lot of people who've had custom rules. You have this weird scenario where no matter how you write the rules, no one's happy. Like if you write them really bad. And it can still be a bad game and whatever.
Sure.
If you write them even 1% good, people are going to be like, that's it, you made this like super powered unit. And even if you write it bad and it goes off, because you got really lucky, people are going to attribute it to, it's like, yeah, you wrote your own rules, of course, man. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So either way, it often will leave people with a weird taste.
Yeah,
that's tough.
And in a lot of the games that we've done custom rules, it's been like a planned in advance campaign thing.
It has to be.
And we've like worked the rules together in a way.
That's an important part. It's like feedback from your opponent.
Yeah.
100%.
Before the game even starts, just feedback on the rules.
Yeah.
So before you ask them for a game with the rules, make like,
perfect.
like, hey, I wrote this thing. You want to take a look? Oh, you like it? You want to play a game? Right. Those are the steps.
And what you can do is if there's someone who doesn't want to play with your special rules, find the like most interesting like chapter to be from that also takes this secondary traits, that also has like powers closest to the ones you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Space Marines have phenomenal ability to pick their successors and like get the psychic powers and stats they want, things like that.
That's my preferred route for all of this stuff, and I'll do it all the time. Like my go-to is usually like Scarbrand. It's like, oh, I'm using the rules for Scarbrand, but this is like my demon like guy, and he does this thing. He's represented by the same rules as Scarbrand, but he's not him at all.
But you're using a data sheet that already exists.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, thanks, Calbunga. Party on, Titans.
Party on.
I know nothing about Necromunda, so I'm excited to see how it plays out. Know what else I know nothing about? Drukhari. How do I pop the transports open with Space Marines?
Space Marines is tough.
There's like 3 good units for it.
All right, number 1.
Plasma Inceptors.
Yep.
This is not in any order.
Yeah, I agree.
Multi-Melta attack bikes. And multi-Melta foot guys. What are they?
Eradicators.
I always want to call them destroyers, but that's not a thing.
Confabulous destroyers. Yeah.
Those are like the 3 main Space Marine units to pop transports, right?
I'd say the first 2 more than the third, just because you have more control over the movement. A good Drukhari player can screen those flanking units quite easily. You keep your boats to the center. You have a couple of flanking things on the side, like your Mandrake or whatever. Which is so the Eradicators have a tougher time. If you're White Scars, it's obviously easier. But those other 2 units are so mobile. You need to be able to like shoot up from on the table, get around the corner, and pop it. That's what you're looking for, right?
That's true, because there's 2 ways that the boats work. way number one is if they don't have many threats, they'll just dominate the board.
Yep.
And that's super scary.
Yeah.
So Eradicators would keep them honest,
That's true.
right? Which is already an impact to the game.
Yeah, that's true.
The other way they play them is they literally keep all their boats hidden way, way, way back, and they look for an opportunity later game to move out.
Yeah.
Or they don't care, and they just stay in their boat, and they use it as a way to project, get an extra 3 inches forward later, and also stop people from coming around the corner and charging, indirect firing at their soft units, things like that. So sometimes the boats are almost like fortifications.
Right.
They're like way at the back,
Right.
and they just sit in them. But at least your Eradicators are forcing them to play that way, which is a big advantage unto itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
Now here's a question. Those were 3 shooting answers, but I have noticed a lot of these raiders get used for their grizzly trophies to give you fight last, so they're up the board.
Yeah.
What combat threats could we come up with?
Literally
to
anything in the
crack?
Space Marine will kill one. Like that's not an actual issue. The problem is when you've done that, it's too late. Like you need to kill it and then get the thing inside to get any value from killing it. Killing it after the fact is nothing because now you're not killing the soft thing that came out of it. And the soft thing that came out of it's the real problem.
So your unit has to be worth less to you than the raider was to them.
By a long
Because
shot.
you're just killing the raider and then you're guaranteed to die.
Yeah, exactly. The one benefit that you can try to get is you can force where they get out. You can potentially force them to have to pay extra CP to get out further and lose more and things like that. But you need a lot of bodies, so some armies
It's
can
tough
do
because
this.
it's long and oblong.
It's weird.
And,
they can get out from the sails and stuff.
you can
Like,
get
they
out
can get
from
out
the
on
sail.
top floor of building.
That's true. That's true.
And it's tall, yeah. So it's really
Yeah.
hard to like blow it up and make people have a tough time getting out.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get out of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's tough. They're good.
Yeah, it's good.
they're good.
It's okay.
Thank you, Michael. Brian's new haircut looking sharper than a pre-FAQ razor flail succubus.
Oh,
Ooh, that's sharp. That's
Pretty-
pretty sharp. Yeah, it's been a long time. I was like trying to tell him like shaved in number 1, and my hair was like this long. They're like, "Are you sure it was a number 1?"
Yeah.
I was like, "It was actually. It's just been a long time."
Yeah. Thank you, Cody. Love the haircut. Looking the part.
That's right. I made, as I said, I made my model look the exact same as me. I like painted his
the
beard
part,
on.
yeah.
It was good.
Thank you, Trey. Hype for Necromunda, but I have to ask, when are we going to get to see GW's GOAT miniatures game, Blood Bowl? I would love to play me some
Yeah.
Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
That's a
They
great
announced
game.
the new video game too for Blood
They
Bowl.
did finally, which
they?
is great.
They did.
Can I buy it?
No.
I think it's summer still.
Yeah. But Blood Bowl is a great game.
But it is a great game. We will do it.
We're going to put a vote up.
Yes, we will. Yeah, we have another vote coming up. But
Yeah.
I need to finish putting together and painting. While he's putting together the ones from that set.
Oh, man.
Right.
I will slam jam anybody.
That's
in
what I'm
Blood
saying.
Bowl.
I think you're going to
I'm
teach
so
one
hyped.
or both of us to just play, and we'll play some games.
It's such a fun game.
I'm really excited.
That
about
sounds
it.
like a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I've never played Tabletop. I've just played a lot of the video
Right.
game, which has
Right.
the exact same rules.
It's a
and
one-to-one.
it automates some things for you. But I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Very cool game.
We will.
So yeah,
play
we'll
it.
get a vote up again. I don't know when, maybe in a month or so, and it'll be for the next game. So it'll be like, do you want us to play Necromunda again, Blood Bowl, Titanicus, Aeronautica, things like that. These are all games that we have, and we'd be excited to play.
Blood Bowl is like simultaneously the most and least Adrian game ever.
Do tell.
Because it's a game of every die roll can lose you the game
Oh god.
for the entire game. Because anytime you fail anything,
Yeah.
it's a turnover.
Oh right.
So it's the opponent's
Yeah,
turn.
yeah.
So you have to like sequence your actions like, okay, here's a really safe thing. I'm just going to move. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do those
Yeah,
first, right?
right.
You do all of your like guaranteed sure things.
That's the Adrian
But
part.
then there's going for it. So if you want to move
Yeah.
far, you roll a die, and on a 1, you trip, and it's a turnover.
Oh gosh.
You could block, but all the block dice have like, well, the person blocking falls down, right?
Right.
So like every action can fail unless it's like a very small move.
Yeah.
And if you fail anything, your whole turn's over. So
Yeah, and then
it's
you pass
simultaneously
them.
the most and least Adrian game
Yeah.
ever.
I'm down for it, man.
Because
That
you
sounds
really
great,
have to
yeah.
always be considering.
Speaking of
but-
tripping, in Necromunda, I had the 2 stratagem cards.
Oh,
One of my
yeah.
stratagems
yeah.
was if you ever tried to climb anything,
Yeah.
my guy could yell out like, "Don't trip!" and then you would actually like trip and fall
No,
off
really?
the wall. So if you like
That's so
tried to
funny.
like climb up a wall and over, I could like make you trip and fall down.
That's really funny.
That's so
Wild,
funny.
right?
That's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was.
We never had to.
Yeah.
You basically, none of your models had to move like 3 inches from their starting position.
They couldn't get out of that room. Everyone
Like,
died in that room. There's
Everyone,
bloodshed
yeah, that was a
everywhere.
bloody room.
Oh my gosh.
Like now, they're gonna have to move bases because it's just haunted.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Thank you. Oh, that is a good point. Your players can also die. Every time.
Oh yeah.
Every time you get knocked down,
Right.
you roll on a table, and if you roll badly on that table, you roll on another table, and then you can just
That's
die.
another book that is like, the game actually is quite complicated, but then there's like the campaign, the season, and all that is like
really complicated.
a million times more rules, which is like, that is a game that you could just like spend your
Pour
life
your life
playing,
into,
which is awesome. I love that
It's
kind
cool
of stuff.
that they did it,
you know?
yeah.
All right, thanks, Munster. What is that snazzy plastic tray Adrian was using in the Dark Mechanicus video? Where did you find one? My old pewter Van Sars. Very excited to watch.
Thank you for super chatting. I was asked this question, and I said I would ask you, and then they said that they would super chat anyway, so that.
Plastic tray?
So it's your gray box, and you have the tray on top that you use to like bring in your painted models on. I used it in the Mechanicus video because I didn't have my cutting board.
Okay.
Where'd you get that from?
So, yeah, this is like a little plastic container. It's like a little rectangular thing, and it has a lid. And the lid, these containers infinitely stack on each other nicely. And the lid is, I don't know, makes like a nice little model tray. It has like a little lip on the top. The lip is kind of what makes the stacking shelves all kind of interlock and be firm. Unsurprisingly, it's from like the Container Store.
Oh, well, there you
The
go.
like place you go that only sells containers.
Yeah.
There was one of them really close in San Jose here. I had a lot of, what I did is I bought like 9 of them, and I keep different army projects that are midway done.
Right.
So it's like the like 5 or 6 Blood Angel sprues that I'm like halfway, or like I had a bunch of bits, or a bunch of like, I've trimmed out a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. Like, so I have a box per army. It's more than one for some large armies, but I have a box per army of like, this is my mid-complete, and I just have it in my hobby room. And then sometimes I'll transport like a few models on the little lids.
Super great.
They're really good little containers. Unsurprisingly, there's like a ton of choice. I just walked around the store and like, this was the exact height, because I wanted it to be exactly the multiple of my shelf, so I could fit exactly 2 in per shelf. So it worked right.
That's a good way to do it in general. Like if you can plan out this stuff, like get a bunch of the exact same. Like there's nothing worse than like you get some from like a place and then they go out of production or whatever. Like so Zach, he does all our terrain, and all of his big containers for our terrain, all the exact same brand,
so
same
they all
lids.
stack together, interchangeable lids.
Yeah.
We've made that mistake before, Ryan.
Listen,
Same.
I made that mistake on many occasions on the same trip. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Evil Smiles. Just wanted to say thanks for renewing my interest in 40K after 9 years of not playing. For the Deathwatch army I'm building, would love it if you 3 each gave a character name or roll for it.
Ooh, character name.
Samwise.
Oh,
That was not a very
Listen, I thought about it for a
name.
second.
Yeah.
It came to my mind, and I was like, yeah, Samwise.
I'm gonna say.
I like it, by the way. I say
Thaddeus.
like Artemis or something, but like
gonna go
that's
with
like an actual
Thaddeus.
name of a.
Thaddeus. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's a good name.
I'm gonna go-
So that's like an Ultramarine.
Sure.
well, they're Deathwatch, so
Yeah, it's a mix.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was doing it right.
I thought you were just
And I
kinda
think
like calling
Thaddeus is a heavy intercessor
heavy
with a heavy
intercessor?
bolter. He's like a,
him. Ooh.
yeah, that's
Okay.
Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like
okay.
Lucius the Hunter, and he was a space wolf, and now he is probably a sniper, probably eliminator, but you can go with whatever you think. That's cool.
What would Samwise be then?
A cook.
A hobbit.
What is the most Hobbit thing they?
Aggressors. They're just short and squat and derpy.
It's either that or the apothecary, just making snacks for everyone.
Yeah, I know. There's something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the apothecary is pretty good. I think Samwise the apothecary is great. What chapter is he from, though? This is not an easy one.
What's the Hobbit chapter? We're gonna offend someone no matter what we say here. Imperial Fists? They don't really do anything.
No, he's not
just
an
wanna
Imperial.
sit at home?
He's definitely not an Imperial Fist. I guarantee you he's not an Imperial Fist.
I don't know. Fists do just sit in their hobbit
That's
hole
what I'm saying.
of Terra.
Yeah.
They just stay there. Adventure is not for them.
Okay,
They
fine.
lived in a hole, not a nasty hole.
Yeah.
Filled with
They do
dirt.
build nice holes. That's true. Okay, fine. He's an Imperial Fist, so then he can't be an apothecary.
That's
then.
true.
He needs to be just like
Marine.
a Tech Marine. No, because you don't need a
Put
Tech
Tech
Marine.
Marine and Deathwatch.
You don't need a Deathwatch Tech Marine. We can make him, I think, just like an actual, intercessor or something, or maybe an Eradicator, like special weapon kind of
An
dude.
old attack marine. He's little.
Oh,
He's not great
So
at
he's a
fighting.
classic- so he's a classic
Adventure
dude
is
with-
not for him.
The shield.
and okay, and he's
a
got a
fist.
shield,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
like-
got his old school bolter with
Yeah.
the special ammo. Yes, we did
That's
it.
Samwise.
Nailed
That's
it.
Samwise.
Samwise.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Hate Work, for Trigger's grenade fund. Because Trigger, you know,
Yeah.
uses a lot of grenades.
Thank you. He needs them.
Trigger never got to shoot a grenade or pull the trigger ever.
Well, Brian, when you line up your whole army or your squad outside of a door, fail to open the door multiple times, and then with your last activation open the door, that
Second
tends
last
to happen.
activation?
Look.
You're right. The last activation was a grenade that blew up in your squad.
It was just like, huh!
Yeah, it was. That was so good.
Oh my gosh. To be fair, he did knock. Like twice. Nobody answered.
He
And they
did
heard
knock.
the guys like opening the door. They're like, "Hey, give me a hand. Give me a hand." No, I need you too. You too.
Did you try the knob?
It's pretty heavy.
Did you try the knob the other way?
And Escher just like,
The girl with the flamer is just like, click.
All right, thanks, Mondetour. In anticipation of this episode, I impulse bought a Cawdor gang box last night.
Yeah.
Love the show. What's your fix for the new sable hair brushes with strays?
Oh, like how do you fix a stray in a sable hair?
Yeah.
It's
Don't
actually
you cut it?
okay. So you can get them back into position, but it's really hard. There's videos online that will show you how to treat and get the hair back into position. Cutting it is not the immediate answer. There is ways to treat the brush. But it's a bit of work, and you have to sable hair brushes. You got to take care of them, like they're little babies.
They still, they're tough, but not that tough. That'd be my same recommendation. Is like look
There
at
are
the video.
specific videos that'll walk you step by step,
Yeah.
and there are like brush butters that you buy to like repair the brush.
Yeah.
It's like a special material that you buy.
Yeah.
To take care of those kinds of brushes. But yeah.
I don't know. I just cut it, and then there was just a hole in the brush there for the rest of the time.
The cutting it can cause all kinds of other issues too.
Yeah.
So
You
there's,
really don't want to.
it's not. It's a kind of a last resort.
Yeah.
Wait, was there any? There was a first part of that.
They
or-
bought Cawdor. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Cawdor, yeah. Cawdor's a cool gang. They're the ones with all the like fire on top. They're like, as far as I understand the lore, they're the most plentiful gang in the Underhive.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Everyone is like Cawdor. Like it's just a prolific household, and they've like love their flamers and stuff like that.
Cool. I really like the Forge World.
They have so much stuff for them.
Executioner leader, because
Yeah.
that was something that I was definitely factoring in.
Yeah.
Like who has cool Forge World bits or models? Because like Forge World is expensive, but if you're only buying a
Just
couple
one
like
model.
human-sized models, then you can actually do cool stuff.
But then
with
it's not enough for free shipping, so you got to at least throw a Fire Raptor on there.
That's true.
Please throw a fire at it.
Either
the
that,
way
you
my
get
mind works.
$100 in like head bits.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like 10 heads. So
Yeah. Nah.
All right, thanks, Casey. Voting with $5 dues in favor of some campaign play.
Sounds great.
I will tell you what, the Necromunda community has rallied behind us playing more
great.
Necromunda. They are
I'm into it
loving
as
this
We
content.
know that it's
I'm
a
into it as
very strong community, and we wanted to put this out there, right?
there's not a ton of content for it, and frankly, it's the way it's currently is. It's not actually the easiest game to pick up for the first time.
Right.
No.
The
No,
new
we're
starter
in
set,
that,
the
yeah.
new starter box. I hope, I think we'll clean a lot of that up. Like you just buy the box and the rules will be good. But right now there's multiple books. It's not always clear where you're going to find a rule.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are quite a few facts and clarifications online.
Well, we had like 2 different rule books with different readings of the rules, and there are FAQs on top of those rule books separately.
Yeah.
Right. So I understand it can be a little intimidating, and so this is one of the reasons we wanted to do it. But this is, again, it's really early for us. This isn't like 40K. We've played for years, and we've played like multiple times a week. We know the game much better.
Yeah.
This was kind of an early outing for us, so we really appreciate some of the Necromunda fans coming and actually like being there to ping the questions. This is why we love doing live games.
Exactly.
Is being able to get that feedback and ask those questions, so we don't have to Google. We can just ask you. Yeah, exactly.
Very much appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you, Spoopy Panda. Just here to support Necromunda and hope it comes back. I want to play both those gangs. Looking forward to this game and to help decide which one I get.
Thanks.
Well, I wonder which one you decided to get.
wonder.
Listen, not all enforcers need to be as derpy as
the
Team
Palanite.
C.
Yeah.
I was really sold on Palanite this game. I know Escher came out really strong, like their rules looked powerful.
Sure.
But the raw character.
Like if we did like
Palanite.
a
They were
pitch,
scary though, honestly.
yeah, if we did a pitched battle where you were at one side, I was at the other, and we had to kind of like work our way up at each other, there would have been enormous advantages for my gang.
Yeah, totally.
Because if I'm in cover and I'm popping grenades way down at you,
Oh, man.
and you're trying to be like behind a wall, I can shoot behind walls.
Yeah.
and then I not only do I shoot behind a wall, but then I blast you into the wall.
Well, yeah.
And I blast you into each other. And
the blast, like pushing people is huge. But you're like you are right. Like the mission, in a lot of senses, did help because the Palatines have this scary thing where you have all this blast. Yeah. And we were discussing right before the game, like you want to clump up for reasons that you saw, right? You want to be able to support people. You want to be able to not be coup de grace. And so you want to clump up in these little clumps, but you also don't because he's got blast. Exactly. And so it's like it fundamentally changes the way you want to play the game, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, I think the interesting counterplay to blast is to just charge your opponents all the time, because then they're clumped with you.
Right.
And now they're in there with you.
Exactly.
And they can't shoot a grenade unless you're Brian.
And that's why, that was amazing. And that's why it was good for me in this game, because it's like he opens the door, it's like knock knock, you get your one shot, you messed it up.
Yeah.
But then like I charge you and like now we're together.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no more blast anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Alex. Hey, Titans, thank you for everything you do. I could use some advice on my Drukhari list. Should I max out my raiders, the shock prows, and grenade launchers? Are they auto picks if I have the spare points?
Great question.
I'm not impressed with shock prows and grenade launchers.
I'm not sold on shock prows anymore. I like the utility. Maybe you take one or two, knowing like there's those matchups where you want to do a few mortal wounds at a certain target.
Sure.
The grenade launchers, I'm not sure about, but again, I have seen better Eldar players than me be running them. Like Sean Nadine, for example. He's running them on all his boats.
Really?
And I was like,
How many points is a grenade launcher?
5.
Okay, it's fairly cheap.
So
but they do almost nothing.
No, they're way better.
No, they're way better than they used to be.
Remember, because there's a bunch of minuses now.
Yeah. But it's one mortal wound.
But for 5 points on a boat that's fairly durable.
It's a D3 shot, and you have to beat their leadership. So you roll the hit, and then every time you have to roll to beat their leadership on 2d6 for one more wound.
I agree. That's why that's what I'm saying. I'm skeptical, but again, I've seen people succeed.
Well, now with the minus, the minus is it's much
-2. Most people aren't running Dark Creed like I was running, so it's just -2. But like that hits the threshold.
So it means the odds are you get the mortal
in
wound
your favor. Yeah.
Mortal wounds are really useful. So
I feel you.
I think it's totally fine.
Impressed.
The shock prow, I would be less interested in than the grenade launcher personally.
Yeah.
All righty, thank you, Austin. Titans, super excited about the foyer into Necromunda. Or foray?
Foray.
Those are different words.
Yeah, the
foray
is like
the foyer is the intro. If we played it at the front,
intro to a house.
Yeah, if we played it like
foray in a foyer.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We could have played this foray in the foyer. Yeah.
That was the foyer. Everything else is down.
Yeah, the truth is we played the entire game
entranceway.
in the foyer of his gangs, like hideout.
Anyway, super excited about your foray into Necromunda. Any chance we'll get to see Van Sar on the table in the future? Love their aesthetic and lore.
Yeah, it's
they're
a cool
so
gang.
cool. They're like, you know how like Necromunda wants to be Infinity?
Yeah.
Controversial take, but
wow,
that's like looks like Infinity.
You just
models.
offended at least half of the Necromunda community.
They all just left right now.
If I had another, like if you did a second gang, what would be your second gang?
Oh gosh.
Mine would be Orlok. I think Orlok.
You like the Orlok?
I like Orlok. Yeah, I like all their like weird special weapons, and I think that's pretty fun. The new starter set army, the Spy Masters, what are they?
Delac.
Delac.
Yeah.
The Delac is really cool looking too.
Like, they're really cool. Obviously, like I said, Khador is super interesting to me.
You like Khador, yeah.
Yeah. Van Sar is actually cool just because they're so different. They're like truly like modern science fiction, almost cyberpunk guys. And like there's something to appreciate about that for like how different it is.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
Or you could do like a gang of just like misfits. Like some special characters and beasts and weird stuff. That could be cool too.
They're also cool.
Yeah, take some psychers, take some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like we would want to playtest psychers because it reminds me heavily of when Kill Team only had one faction with psychers.
With the Grey Knights.
So Grey Knights had a psychic phase and nobody else did.
That wasn't Kill Team, that was Armageddon Shadow War.
No, Kill Team had that.
Kill Team?
Kill Team definitely had that because I played Grey Knights in Kill Team.
Yeah.
I was that guy who got a psychic phase when you didn't. And it just ruined the entire game. It was not fair.
Yeah, it was very strong.
Yeah, to me, we'd have to test it, but also I think it's so rife in like for campaign play. Like it's like the psyker, you know. Like I'm thinking of like Eisenhorn books and stuff like that, right? Like, it's a big deal.
It's good.
If both of you had psychers, totally fine.
Or no, just even one psyker on the board is good compared to a whole army of psychers. Like that's different. Like one psyker.
You could still only activate one Grey Knight. Your psychic phase was one guy.
Oh, okay.
It was just any of them could be that guy.
Response to it.
But there's no counterplay. It's just like, oh cool, I take a damage every turn for the entire game.
Sure.
Period.
Right.
That obviously they didn't balance that well. But you could make psychic powers more interesting. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Gooseberry. On GW Web Store today, Drukhari Witches were not available. No longer online, or they went from not available online to no longer available online.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They do this kind of stuff all the time.
Are they not going to make witch models anymore? Got any good ideas for competition witch conversions? They're going to make witches, guys. They're not going to stop making witches.
They messed this up again recently with Forge World, right? The bunch of the Venatari and all these things were just gone, and they just put the wrong message. They didn't say out of stock. They said no longer available.
Yeah.
And they were like, oops.
Yeah, they're going to keep witches. And if you look in the new codex, there was no new witch model. Correct. So I don't know if they're
that would be where
they're not going to debut a new kit or something like that.
They just came with a new box set, Pain and Pain.
Exactly.
Pain and Pain.
So yeah, I think that they're going to be back. Now, as far as converting your own witches, you know something about this.
I do know something about this. I do really like these. What are they actually called? The Sisters of Slaughter?
Daughters
of Cain?
Well, that's the faction, but the actual unit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's their basic unit. Now,
Murder women.
Yeah, the box looks expensive because this is at the height of Warhammer Fantasy being expensive. But if you have any extra witches, you have extra weapons, you can slot them in, and you can get a lot of value out of just using these as just the bodies for them, right? And then that's mostly what it is. I have multiple of my custom ones are just those. So I have those, the current plastic ones.
Right.
And then some of the really old metal versions of them.
Ooh.
Because they're still witches. Yeah, and it's cool. But that's mostly it.
So, Daughters of Cain.
Daughters
Take
of Cain stuff, for sure. Yeah. Good Slith, too.
Really good Slith. You're right.
You mean the giant Marathi?
No, not that one.
Make a mega
There's
Slith.
like a
the
unit.
regular snake
There's like the
ladies.
little
Yeah,
snake
but-
ones.
On 40s.
Just imagine.
A mega Slith.
Mega Slith.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
All right, thank you, Josh. Necromunda all day, every day.
Woo!
It's a really good game. We're really looking forward to playing it.
I'm into it. I've been impressed. I will say that. Yeah.
It's a goofy, fun skirmish game. I think we should play more skirmish games, for sure.
Yeah.
All of them. Let's play every skirmish game.
Every single one?
Everyone.
All of them.
Okay.
And as you guys in chat write your own and publish your own skirmish games,
We'll be forced to play them.
We'll be forced to play
We'll be
them.
in like a never-ending hell of skirmish games.
but it'll be great. We'll have all the unproofridden.
We'll only be able to see the world, the real world, in terms of skirmish game.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I can move to the room, but then I have to call out to you to do something.
Right.
So then I can
We
go.
can only activate one at a time.
Yeah.
Don't even this literally happens to me sometimes with Warhammer. I will
I'm interested to see what he means by this.
subconsciously, I will think of if someone moves close to someone, something in the back of my brain is just oh, they're engagement range. I swear, things like this happen to me all the time, and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
You're like,
That's kind of spooky.
you're like, you want to send the email, but then you got to roll a 4 up. And You're like, not today.
It's just I'm so used to thinking of things in terms of these 40K mechanics. It's horrible.
Do you ever perils when you're messaging somebody?
Yeah.
And it's just garbled nonsense.
Yeah, that's when you're desperate little for the unsend button on an email you didn't mean to send. Perilsing does exist.
Don't do that.
It's true.
So you put the delay, 30 seconds. Everyone knows that.
No, I just YOLO it every time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I YOLO everything.
Yeah.
Thank you, Digital Designer. Just want to shout out the Tabletop Titans community speed painting competition.
Yes.
It's going on this weekend.
Nice.
3 hours to paint a character of your choice. Jump in the Discord if you haven't to find out more.
Ooh.
This seems like a really cool competition.
This is going to be super, super cool. It's in the Discord, which is open to everyone. You don't have to be a member or anything.
Down below.
And we're going to be showing and talking about the winner on stream.
That sounds fun.
It's going to be really, really cool.
So someone has to be from 40K. Can it be from Necromunda?
Oh, Brian, you're asking us rules that we don't know. We did not organize this.
I don't know.
But if
But
you go on the
the rules are in the
Discord,
They're from the 40K universe.
I'm not going to impose rules.
The painting competition.
The rules
Brian,
are posted on the
You
Discord.
should submit a Necromunda model and see what happens.
I don't have time to do it.
Guess you're going to lose, Brian.
You don't have
Yeah.
3 hours.
Not this weekend.
Well, definitely check it out, guys. It's a super cool thing. We have a great community, and this is just created by
That sounds great.
people in the community, right? This is so cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Asian Viking. I'm starting in with Vansar, and my brother Dave has GSC, Goliath, and Orlok. Tell my friend Chris to join us and which gang he needs to start. Chris, you got to join, and you
Yep.
need some Palanite Enforcers.
Palanite Enforcers.
Ooh.
Yeah, somebody needs to keep those GSC in line because I'm not having
The
it.
thing is, the Palanite Enforcers, especially if you build these subjugators, there are a lot of points each. So I think just 4 or 5 subjugators is a whole army. Now, it's not the best army, but 4 or 5 subjugators are like totally cool, and you can definitely play. It's just you don't have a lot of models, so you can bottle test really quickly. But it can be really, really strong, and it's very few models.
It's my kind of army.
Yeah, and it looks classy. They've all got like that really big armor. They've all got the shield. I rolled only 2-ups on their 3-up saves all game.
You rolled so bad in this game.
I don't know that a Palanite or Subjugator ever made an armor save. But normally the armor saves are quite good.
Yeah, trust me.
A 3-up save in this game is actually quite good. And a 2-up save against Blast is exceptional.
Amazing. Yeah. Digital Designer is here in the chat. You can do a character, HQ, or hero from any GW line or a comparable model.
Ooh, paint that Cursed City, then you'll win just because the models are better.
Oh, that's cheating. That really is cheating.
Cursed City models are just better.
They're some of the nicest models I've ever seen.
And the characters have so much character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like Nosferatu guys?
Yeah, they're all great.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you, Chris. Absolutely love Necromunda and hope you guys love it too. Look forward to more and hopefully some corpse grinders.
I own the corpse grinders.
You do have a lot.
You have like 5 gangs of corpse grinders.
I have so many that I was going to turn them into 40...
Poxwalkers.
No, 40 Khorne cultists.
Oh.
Ah, weird.
I'm actually really into that. No, that's very cool.
So that's why they were going to be part of my World Leaders army, and they were going to be Khorne cultists with close combat weapons. Because you know the cultists can either have autoguns or close combat weapons.
Of course, yeah.
So I was going to do them that way. That's what I was going to do them.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're perfect for Khorne cultists.
They're so much tougher than Khorne cultists.
But like,
They're tough boys.
I'm into it though. I think it's
They're
cool.
just angry, bloody humans.
Yeah.
Who eat people.
I mean, there's no reason I couldn't use them for both games.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have a lot though. So I do have 40 of them. So I was going to do plenty.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Corpse grinders are pretty rad. It's like no one has a gun. It's just all close combat.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty wild.
All right, thank you, LaRosen. Hey guys, I've never seen Necromunda before. Can you all give a description of all the different gangs and their themes? Thank you for your time and hard work. Can we?
We're not experts at the game either. Like this is new to us.
Yeah.
You know, we've looked at all the gangs, but we just jumped into which ones grabbed our attention, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can do our best just briefly. Obviously, you know, we played Escher today, which is about, we talked about the combat drugs and the poison and cheap las. We've talked about Palanites for their durability, low model count but tough, kind of elite style, a lot of crowd control kind of stuff.
Goliath are like big, hulking, close combat people, right?
But more measured than like Goliath. That's different than the corpse cult. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In my head, I did Goliath Rockgrinder from GSC, and I was like, wait, that's which faction is? Anyways.
Yeah. So Goliath is like durable, big combat dudes.
Burly
That's right.
guys,
Yeah.
But they still have guns, and the corpse grinder have no guns. They're just all like
the corpse
insane
grinders
big
are literally
Khorne dudes.
people who chop up the dead humans to make the corpse starch, but they've come up with their own god, which is the god of like blood and sinew.
Yeah.
But it's actually corn.
They've taken like too much of a liking to the corpse starch. They just want it fresh. They just want corpses.
Yeah. So yeah, they really love corpses. You've got House Orlok, which I mentioned before. They're the like mining guild.
They're the mustache guys.
And exactly. They are, all that. And they have some of the cheapest, they have like some of the best weapons that are also mega cheap. So they're all like overgunned.
Because they're like analog guns, right?
They're all overgunned for really, really cheap.
Yeah, it's cool.
What do we say? Vansar, right? All the like sci-fi.
Sci-fi. I don't really know how they play.
Techno
but
wizards.
They have like really high-end technology.
Yeah.
But they're also like integrated with their technology, and the technology is like killing them.
They have like stinger ponytails.
And the technology is like actually killing them slowly. Yeah, right.
Cool.
Dalik.
Dalak. Yeah, they're like the spy masters.
Spy network.
Yeah.
Ogrins, which are just a bunch of Ogrins, right?
And anyone can take them alternatively, right?
They're like neutral dudes.
Yeah, the
hired
Jinster
guns.
cults.
Yeah. So honestly,
They're like neutral dudes.
they're so cool.
The Jinster cults, literally the 40k Jinster cults, they're in the Underhive.
Yeah.
Can you get a patriarch? That feels like it would be broken.
I don't think so.
This is all about
You
the
just get
scum.
like acolytes and
Yeah. Like I was like, I'm gonna
don't
play
know
an
this
actual
one.
different gang.
The Venator gang. They're all like bounty hunters.
I don't even know if
to
that
fill
one's named.
contracts. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
people were saying in chat that's the other faction that's not allowed to gain territory or. So like Palanites can't do a lot of things in campaigns
That's
because they're the
correct.
cops. Venator also can't do a lot of things in campaigns because they're bounty hunters. They're like cops.
Gotcha.
yeah, right.
Interesting.
They seem cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just showed the models for the Water Guild, which I'm so excited to get.
Yeah. And is that a whole army, or are those like individuals that you add on to your army?
So I'll be curious to see if they flesh it out. But currently, like you can get Water Guild stuff in House Escher as like an add-on. So I don't know if they'll just stay like that. Maybe they'll be like mercs or something that anyone can get, but it's easy for
They
some.
have like water guns. What?
They have like there's like the big like Bulgrin guy that has like tanks of like looks like water inside of him. I don't know.
So he's like a water golem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's great.
They look really cool.
It's a cool game, and what we just named are like the main factions, but there's tons and tons and tons of like special characters and one-off things you can add to your army.
Bounty hunters.
There's beasts, and there's like really cool dogs, and there's like actually monsters, and there's all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Won't be able to watch live. Just dropping in to say have a great Friday and a good, productive trip, Brian.
Cheers,
Thank you. Yeah. I'm having to wake up really early. My flight out of SFO is at 6 a.m. And it is international. And that was the best time out of all the times.
Are you gonna be okay?
No.
Well, he'll just stay up all night.
I was going to that, but I'm not going to because it's a long enough flight that I have a layover in the middle because there's no direct flights anymore. So, anyways, it's going to be very unpleasant travel.
I didn't know you existed before 8. That's like when you instantiate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will be like still like a ghost.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. I see a couple of super chats here without messages. If you are here and you did have a message or a question, just chat.
Yeah.
Don't do it again. Yeah.
If not, thank you.
Thanks for the support.
Cheers.
Thank you, Thurgood. Just wanted to say I'm loving the Necromunda. +1 for a full narrative campaign.
Woo. Sounds great, man.
Yeah.
We're liking
I'm glad you're all into it because we're into it too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trayland. Team C, you in hell?
That's right.
Yeah. Team C, they did their best.
See you later.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Hey, new to 40K. I was wondering about a fun but points cheap knights list.
Points cheap.
Armigers, man.
Armigers, yeah.
Which are like the like good way to play knights right now, honestly.
Because you just need more bodies.
Yeah.
They're like teenage knights. They're like little.
They're like upstart knights.
Yeah. So like one
Juve
or two big knights.
knights.
Like even at 2,000 points, like 1 or 2 big knights and then like a lot of armigers.
Yeah, totally.
It's a good list.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And we generally, it's funny enough, we like the, I can't believe we're saying this, but we like the Warglaives more than we like the Helverins nowadays. They just play knights better. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Duchy Spy. I've heard that Trazen is not very good on the tabletop. Do you think he should have some way to steal relics from the opponent for both fluff and value? It's dangerous to have mechanics like that because it's so unbound.
Yeah.
It's like how many relics are in the game right now? That's a lot to balance around. And then how many relics will there be in the future? And then every time they make a relic, they have to think, okay, Trazen can steal this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's cool design space. I love it. Leave that for the Blood Ravens.
Leave it for like Crusade play. Where like Unbound is fine.
Yeah, they would have
really
to do a
hard to
toned
balance.
down version where it's like you steal the relic, but you can't use it.
But then the effect you get is some other effect.
Or you get no effect. You just stop their relic from working.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
That's a little less wild.
And there's no weird edge cases of like, okay, I have this relic now. What does it do? Like I'm not a psyker. I cast one extra spell. Am I allowed to cast spells now? What spells do I know?
I'm trying to think of like the weirdest one.
Oh, there would be all kinds of stuff.
There would be, it's like only edge cases.
A lot of them are faction
It's
locked.
only edge cases.
I stole your relic gun. I have no arms.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. This is great. Just got a real steal on a Delac game. Still in box. How would you convince a skeptical friend to play the game? Man, I have never said no. If somebody has like a game already set up.
Bridger will play any game.
That's nice.
If it's set up, if they're not like, here's what will make
Bridger.
me question the idea.
Okay.
If they tell me I have to buy something,
Right.
or if I have to set it up, or if I have to like paint something, like if there's startup cost to me that's significant.
Now he
I'll
does
think
know
about
that this is a Games Workshop game
Yeah.
where you have to buy it, paint it, and
But like,
set it up.
what I'm saying is that you, Nick, already have a box set with both factions. So you've already put in the financial cost. You can put in the time and paint the models, and just say, hey, bro, you want to come over? Like, I'll buy a pizza.
Like you treat it like it's a board game.
We'll just hang out and play Necromunda.
That's a good idea.
That's how you get them hooked, is they have no startup cost. They just come, eat some pizza, hang out, have a fun game.
Yeah, if it's just like a board game you set up at your house and they come play, and if they get hooked enough, then they might want to go and do it. But telling them to, go buy a gang or whatever, you'll never get them.
In my entire life, I've ever said no to somebody asking me to come over and play a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if they have
ready
it,
to go, they have it
especially.
set up.
easy.
And it's a really cool game.
That's a great way to start it.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. Despite their performance last week, I want to start Custodes and had a few questions. Alaris or Aquilon, Bikers or Venatari, favorite Dreadnought. All right, these are all easy questions.
They're fairly easy.
Alaris, every time.
Because they have better strats.
Yeah.
They have better strats
That's pretty much
in a
the reason.
time where those strats are really important.
Yeah,
Like
they have better
shooting
strats. That's
sniping
the
a
reason.
succubus is amazing. Ignoring AP 1 and 2, both of them have, but it's amazing. So that's why you pick Alaris.
Yeah.
Bikers or Venatari. Venatari, every time you double shoot their stupid pistols. They shoot 1,000
with
shots.
buckler
they explode on
and
sixes.
pistol.
Yeah.
They're more versatile.
They're faster,
They're
they're
easier to
cheaper.
hide. They're infantry, so you do more of the 9th edition
amazing.
stuff with them.
So good.
The bikers are really big liabilities. Hard to make them work.
Favorite Dreadnought, it's gotta be the Contemptor Dreadnought that only has one loadout. It's the best.
So he's trolling you, of course. This is the single worst of all the dreadnoughts. This is a tough one. The Sword and Shield Dreadnought is probably on the table.
Gladys.
Yeah, the Glass probably the most reliably good, especially because it's cheap and you could squeeze it in. But the Telemon is probably the most interesting by a mile.
Yeah.
So especially if you magnetize it, and then you got the different loadouts. The Telemon is something really unique in 40K. Like it's quite a unique sculpt and look, and it's very powerful.
It's all right.
And it's expensive, so it'll take a bite out of the points of your most armies. So you might not always want to run it, but with the versatile loadouts, and every loadout for it is kind of playable. So you'll get a lot of different mileage out of it.
Yeah. Did you guys see John Lennon's Custodes list from their little?
Is it 3 Telemons?
It's 2 Telemons.
Yeah, Telemons are great.
It's a couple Telemons. I think
really
it
durable.
has like a bunch of dreadnought, like Custodes dreadnoughts.
Sure.
Has drop scions with plasma.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Got a
You need to have
Manticore.
the Scions with the.
Yeah, I
with
was
the-
like,
with
this is
the-
a real cool list. I thought of you in particular. I was
Yeah.
like, this is a cool list.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I totally buy it. Like Custodes right now, they definitely need the cheaper troops.
Yeah.
Having them deep strike in makes a lot of sense.
That's a very
line of
interesting use case for Telemons. Because I look at a Telemon and I say, okay, it's durable, but is it more durable than Terminators ignoring AP 1 and 2 with Transhuman? Like,
Yeah.
in some cases, yes, in some cases, no, but it's a much tougher decision than you say, here's my shooting guard that it has no durable objective holding at all.
Yeah.
I can take Bulgrin, but they're not OBSEC.
Yeah.
How do I hold an objective until next turn?
Yeah.
Telemons.
Well, Telemon, okay, if you have
Done.
a Telemon that shoots and fights, and then your Shadow Keepers, you have this weird thing where there's so many armies that can only wound him on 6s.
Yep.
right.
And he's a 4-up invul, and he's -1 damage. He has 6-up feel no pain. Like, he can put himself out there and be really, 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 really hard to remove. And again, we talk about witches. Like, they'll come and surround him, but they actually won't even scratch him.
No. Yeah.
Right? And he'll take a bite back out of them, and if they're touching him, he'll clear them all in combat. Like, the Spiculus alone will get them all.
And the flamers.
Yeah,
The
with the
plasma
plasma
flamers,
flamers.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's
cool.
they're no joke.
Alrighty, thank you, Melody. Shout out to Yusuf. He got me Dragon Ball Fighter Z as a gift.
Nice.
It's a fun game.
That is actually a really fun game.
What a bro. Also, Brian, haircut looks sharp.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't thank me. Thank Melody.
Thank you, Melody. And shout out to Yusuf.
But that's
It's
Yeah.
my
That
my
was a fun
nephew.
game.
It's my nephew's name.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, we're just gonna go see him. Say hi.
thank you, Jeremy. Hey, Titans. Go Escher.
Yeah.
How would you go about painting the stained glass on the emulator?
That's a great question. You notice? I don't know if you've noticed. You probably have noticed, but I've played in the last few games. They're painted very neutrally, and that's because they're not finished yet. They're just like, they look fine, but I really want to do like the full effect. So here's what I'm currently thinking. I'm sorry to say, well, okay. I would do airbrush. You could do similar effects with certain washes.
Yeah.
But I think washes are key here.
I would do it with washes.
Yeah, and you can do it like section by section. So for example, what I am doing is each section I have it's black, and then I use the airbrush to kind of do the usual like undershading, where it's kind of like brighter in the middle and it fades out as it goes away.
So it's like
And
vignetting the window.
It's vignetting the window,
Yeah,
exactly.
and you're blasting it with white basically.
with white on black,
Yeah.
and then you can wash over that or do a thinner airbrush on top of that to kind of give that effect. The colors are the toughest thing to make like look good and not tacky, to be honest, because a lot of stained glass has like all weird colors.
I got
and
an easy
things.
peasy one for that.
So yeah,
In the spring, you go out and you get yourself an Easter egg painting kit.
Okay.
Oh, they're like dip dye thing?
Just washes. And it's just washes of all the colors you need.
I was like, where
It's
is he
just
going with this?
washes in baby pastel colors.
yeah. See, Adrian's, he's in.
Kind of into it.
He's into it.
No,
I sold it, and it's like $2.
You know, the easy, if you don't have an airbrush, you literally just paint it white and then wash over it.
Wash it.
And if you do have the airbrush, you can get a little bit of the fades, which will give it a little more life.
Exactly. I think that's the way to do it.
Don't put those egg painting kits in your airbrush. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, like, I don't care.
That could be bad. I don't think they have any quality control on the
airbrush,
grit.
you know, airbrush your Easter eggs. Why not?
No, we're talking about stained glass here, Brian.
Yeah,
Use the Easter egg
stained
kit
glass
on the stained
on-
glass.
You can do the
Easter
dip
egg.
dye kit still with your emulator.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, don't dip the whole emulator, but
Don't do any of this.
thank you. Nevin was at Major City Mayhem last week. On our way back home, we saw something that reminded me of you guys, a truck stop with a Taco Bell inside.
Trucks have a Taco Bell.
That's actually pretty rare. I've been to a lot of truck stops, and they do not have
Why
Taco
has he
Bell.
been to so many truck stops?
Well, I've moved across the
Tell
country
us about your life.
like 3 times. So,
In chase of new Taco Bell experiences.
and I drove across the country every single time. So I've moved like East Coast to West Coast to East Coast
Wow.
back to West
Jesus.
Coast. Drove
Yeah.
every time. So I've been to a lot of truck stops.
Why?
On search for
It's
Taco
actually-
Bell.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Like,
Yeah.
if it's been a couple of years since you've done a road trip, let's go on a road trip.
That's
man.
true.
Take a week.
I guess I used to
Go
do
somewhere.
the road trip from NorCal to SoCal a lot. Mm-hmm. I enjoy a good road trip. but
Yeah,
that's
I've
a bit
actually done
much.
that trip a lot of times too.
Yeah. It's
I'm fine with that. It's a very boring trip.
yeah.
Well, NorCal to SoCal is like particularly boring.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
like in the middle, it's all just nonsense
It's
farmland.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
tiling textures. It
is,
It's
yeah.
not even
Yeah.
like new.
is
There's no
tiling.
texture.
They just keep reusing the same one.
They
don't
just
even
use the
bother.
same. Same models too. Like it's just the same.
The
repeating.
skybox is super plain.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
When it just slowly animates moving forward.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
You're basically playing Desert Bus in real life. Yeah,
When you say it like that.
it's pretty. Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron. Thoughts on this Blood Angels list? Captain on Bike, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, Visage, and Rights.
Nice.
Jump Pack Librarian with Veil, Null Zone, and Psychic Fortress.
Classic.
See?
3x5 Sandguard, 10 Death Company, 5 with Thunderhammers, 5 Death Company, 10 Vanguard Vets, Lightning Claw and Storm Shield, 4 Plasma Inceptors, 3 Eradicators, and a Whirlwind. Oh, that was part 2. Let's go back to part 1. G'day, boys. What's a hilarious game? Or what a hilarious game. Thanks for
right.
keeping me entertained at work.
Oh, well, glad we give you something important to do at work. But I really like your Blood Angels list.
That's one of those lists that just keeps on giving. You
Yeah,
know?
I really liked it.
It has everything.
Yeah, I was down with it.
How did you fit all that?
I don't know. Feels like it was like 2,300 points.
Yeah.
But if you got that in 2,000, I'm gonna steal that list. I like it.
Yeah.
Competitive Blood Angels lists, I was like looking around because I have to make a list again. And I'm playing against the competitive Tyranid list. So I was like looking around at the competitive Blood Angels lists that are doing well at tournaments, and they make no sense.
Oh, yeah?
They're just like wilded. They're just Space Marine armies with the Blood Angel chapter tactic.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like they'll take Vanguard Vets instead of Death Company.
Yeah,
They'll
right,
take
right.
like Plasma Inceptors and then Outriders.
Yeah,
and there's
okay.
like one unit of Sandguard in there. And they're like,
Yeah.
yep, these are my Blood Angels right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
It's because everything overkills. So it's like the Sandguard overkill too. Everything
Right.
overkills. So you might as well overkill for less points. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I feel you.
So
tough.
funny.
But they're wild.
Yeah, I like that list.
Wild
though.
lists.
It's because most people like Sandguard makes sense when everyone's bringing the biggest hammer they can, and you want the biggest hammer in the game. But everyone's hammer these days is really
Like 5 or 10
it's
T3
small.
models.
Yeah, it's really small, and so it's like Sandguard are overkill in those
Yeah, yeah.
trading matchups, right?
Except against Death Guard. But then
That's
they
what
get
I'm wondering,
they're,
like-
they're yeah.
Yeah, Death Guard and Dark Angels, but
But like Lightning Claws.
Oh, it has like
are gonna do
6
great
multi-melta
against-
attack bikes and has lightning claws. Like it beats
yeah,
Death
the
Guard.
Lightning Claws,
The
yeah.
Lightning Claws are better against Death Guard than the Sandguard.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think the multi-melta attack bikes do the most heavy lifting in that.
Well, they're all awesome too.
They're
Yeah,
great.
no doubt.
They're great.
Thank you, Levi. Well, guess I'm getting Necromunda now.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Like I said, new starter set coming out. Maybe just wait for that.
Yeah, apparently.
probably soon.
It's got Escher.
Blood Angel question. Vanguard Vets with Storm Shield and Thunderhammer for 185 points versus Death Company with Thunderhammer for 200 points. The list has another Death Company 5-man unit for Forlorn Fury pregame. Is the durability worth it? Thank you.
Question.
I would do the Death Company.
You wanna tell us
Would
why?
you?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So they have some unique utilities. So first of all, they do have more attacks.
Yes.
Which great. really do want to do that. You're paying for the
You're
hammer.
gonna miss a lot.
You're paying for the hammer, so you want as many hits as you can. You're not paying more. You're paying the same amount for the hammer, so I just get more attacks for the hammer. So that already is pretty big for me. The other thing is that, yeah, sure, you get a bit more durability with the Storm Shield, but you also get durability with the strat for 5 of Feel No Pain, which is very, very useful as well. And Forlorn Fury, although you won't do it all the time, is a very, very powerful threat that I think is really interesting.
It's the proverbial brick around the corner.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So all of those reasons, and Death Company are just cooler. So I think that easily does
They
it
are
for
cooler.
me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, good points.
Thank you, Kaldorf. That was fun. Poor Team C. Ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
Necromunda was awesome. Board looked epic. I'm hyped for more. Would love to see Warcry campaigns 2023.
Yeah, Warcry would be in. It was in the vote for the last game.
Totally.
And we'll put it in the next vote. So.
We're all gonna fight over who gets to play the bird people. Though.
Yeah.
I already have them.
It's gonna be bird people versus bird
Painted
people.
Sun.
I'll play Seraphon.
No. Thank you, Josh. What about Preceptors for 6-inch reroll? Knight Preceptors.
Knight Preceptors, yeah. We don't love them.
Real bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Real
They
bad.
are like a cool concept that it just doesn't work, you know?
The
like,
buff
it would
is
need to be-
insufficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It would need to be probably even a better buff, and it would need to be at least a 12-inch range.
Yeah.
Because Knights have so few models that you can't afford the whole army to be clumped for such a small benefit.
Right.
On a Knight that's not even good.
Well, it's funny because, yeah, we're talking about Armigers are great. We love Armigers. But the Preceptors, despite the prominence and amazingness of Armigers, are still they're not there.
Yeah.
You're paying like you're paying like Valiant Castellan points to get
No, they're not that expensive.
maybe half the effectiveness.
Yeah, they're not that.
They're not that much.
They're
but a
not that.
lot.
It's
Yeah,
like they're less than a Crusader, but
I would
mean,
take any Knight over a
even, like-
Preceptor
yeah.
every time.
Yeah, because
they
even
will-
like compare their battle cannon, not battle cannon weapon that's like mostly just
their
worse.
gun is the worst gun.
It's like, what are
Yeah.
they thinking?
It's
with
just
that?
not reliable.
It's a shame because it's cool. I mean, Cannon Strikes, man.
Listen, they're going to have a new codex. I assume they're going to fix it.
That's
right?
true,
Like
that's true.
This is one of the Knight that they got wrong right from the outset. It's never once had a
Oh,
day of
here's
being
what
good.
you do. You take
right?
Canis Rex, you take While We Stand, the Knight blows up, he gets out, and you just walk him away. 5 points right there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
5
The
points.
problem is you don't get a household with him, right? So
Oh.
Get a
this
house
is a-
while we stand. That's what you get.
yeah, it kind of so he breaks your like household and all that. Like he's not like he breaks your
Really?
strategy. He doesn't break your household in the traditional sense, but what I'm trying to say
okay.
is like
He doesn't
you
get
have like
anything,
an
yeah.
ability that you're going for, and as we all know, the normal rules for free blades were not amazing. The new rules for free blades, I guess those work with
Or
him. Maybe
slightly better.
They're a bit better.
do they work with him? I guess so.
I imagine. I don't actually
I'll
know.
be honest, I haven't looked at his
Yeah.
rules in a long time.
Yeah, because he's not great.
I think anybody's looking too closely at those rules.
But this is a cool concept. I wish they did more of that. Like your princeps actually could always get out or something.
Yeah.
Like,
cool.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Hey guys, just got off work and unwinding with some Q&A.
Oh, welcome.
What would you put in a fluffy Black Legion list, and how would you make Abaddon scarier in Knight?
Oh man. So I think first of all that he's actually pretty dang good right now. He's, not the
he's
problem.
terrifying.
Yeah, he's not the problem.
Yeah, he's slow though, so you got to make sure you get him in there.
Yeah, I would give him a couple like we have in the past, Bridger, compared him to Gilliman, things that Gilliman has and he doesn't. I think you could bring him a bit more in line, but other than that, he's like still great.
Right.
But a fluffy Black Legion army,
Cultists.
cultists,
Abaddon.
We said
Terminators.
Abaddon. And probably even a few Space Marine units, like 2 Space Marine units.
Chaos
something
Space Marine,
that.
like
Chaos
the
Space
regular,
Marine.
yeah.
like guys in Black Legion armor.
Yeah.
You know?
You definitely want a, and this is where I end up not following the fluff as much, like a Dark Apostle and a Sorcerer.
I thoroughly agree.
You have
Dark
to have
Apostle,
your
you
council
need the trio.
traders, right?
You need the council, yeah.
I think that's super important. Yeah, and the big units of Terminators, right? Because that's actually a thing in the lore and in the rules where it's like, oh, they're like bullies, they outnumber people, they kind of like are very bullish and hyper aggressive. They're like, his tactics are like aggressive to a point where it just like it catches people off guard, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about that even in the Horus Heresy books, right?
Because that was Abaddon was part of the spear tip of the Just Terran Terminators, and that's what they did.
And that's still a thing, right?
They always, their tactic was cut off the head.
First in the fight, and very just,
Is that why he's such a jerk?
No, he was always a jerk.
He was such a little...
This is good stuff. I think you could also, he's the worst rules, but Harkin World Claimer is cool. And you can have him instead of Abaddon some of the time. right? He's awful though.
Okay.
So wait for his rules to get better. But he's a fun model.
Totally.
He's actually a really rad model.
Yeah, he's super sick. I don't know why I don't have him. Actually, I know why I don't have him.
We know why you don't have him.
Sorry.
Other than that, I think you can mix and match. Like the rest could be, I would want more guys in Black Legion armor. So whether that's, like Raptors or whether it's maybe even like what is it, the Dreadnought called? Sorry, the
Hellbrute?
Hellbrutes?
Hellbrutes would look good too. Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I would like make it look like kind of like a Space Marine army. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a chaos version.
Yeah, that's true. Man, the Hellbrutes are like, I would be excited if they get the Death Guard treatment.
Sure.
Like the Fire Frenzy strat turning into the +1 to hit,
Yeah.
+1 to wound with Abaddon, like
Would be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Thank you, Schmebulok. I know I usually talk about orcs, but after being shot off the table by Admech, I'm salty.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
How do you all feel about Mortarion's Chosen Sons?
Gonna have to remind me which one that is.
I'm going to have to remind you. It's
I'll be
not
back.
Ferryman.
To the Codex!
It's not Ferryman, and it's not the other good one.
Mortarion's Chosen Son, I've played them before, and it's reminding me, they're the ones with the flamers, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, they're the ones with the flamer benefit, I'm thinking. But we've sent Daedra to go and get it. But yeah, listen, if you're playing Admech is the shootiest army in all of 40k, and orcs are an army that can get shot in one whole
By
turn.
anything,
You can lose everything. So Admech against orcs is rarely these days, I think.
What do you got there, Adrian?
Super cool.
Mortarion's Chosen Sons. So,
They have the flamer strat, right?
yeah, they can give +1 damage to Flamers, which is only 1 CP, so it's situationally can be quite strong.
And
but
it's
you
to a
never count
whole
on it.
unit or to a model.
No, it's to a unit.
Yeah,
So it can be great.
so you can have
Death Shroud?
It's for Death Shroud,
All
really.
have flamers.
You can have it to Death Shroud. You could also have Plague Marines that can have up to 4 flamers, I think, because there's 2 different kinds of flamers.
Nowadays, I don't know. No, there's only one kind of Flamer.
No, there's 2.
There's
Really?
Plague Spewers and Flamers?
Yeah, no, there's Plague Spewers and then Plague Belchers or whatever. Yeah, there's 2
I didn't know they
kinds.
could take both.
Yeah.
Ignore cover. Their contagion is ignore cover, which is okay.
Ignore cover, that's it?
Yup.
Within contagion range, you ignore cover? Mm-hmm. So that's not good.
And then their relic is, Vomitrix, which is the relic flamer,
Yes.
which
We tried that.
No, I tried this against the Ultramarines. I played this
But
against the
it's
Ultramarines.
just worse than Putrefying Stench Fats.
No, but it's different because you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Remember, I tried to take this and it was illegal because
Yeah.
you can't do that. It's on Plague Sprayer only.
That's right.
And it's range 12, obviously, assault 7, strength 7, -3 AP, 2 damage, plague weapon.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good weapon.
It's a good flamer, but
It's just,
not
as a package. This
You're not
is
going to take a
great.
whole thing. Yeah, the
Yeah.
flamer thing is just not interesting because flamers are so hard. Like, you're so close. But yeah, if you have a big unit of Death Shroud,
Yeah.
you'll put out the hurt. But like, they already put out the hurt. Like, what's the big
It's
deal?
the best. It's
It
the best thing
solves
about
a
this.
problem Death Guard don't have.
Correct.
If Death Guard are within
agree.
12 inches of you, they're going to walk up, charge, and kill you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's
What
true.
they have a problem with is you're 36 inches away in a Raider. Now what?
Yeah.
That's the problem Death Guard have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've played it, we've had fun with it, but it's by no means one of the strongest.
And yeah, and that's why we've taken it, is just because it's fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, for the 7th Plague Company, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Should have better
I
name
agree.
than
Thank you, Magnus did nothing wrong. Sorry for the late question.
that.
No worries, man.
Yeah.
So I saw that there are squat models on Forge World. Can you make a full squat gang?
Do they have them
For
for
Necromunda?
Necromunda?
They do have squats for Necromunda,
Oh,
but
right.
I've only seen like select add-ons. I don't. There is no squad gang.
No, yeah.
Whether you can put them all together into a gang, I'm not super versed on the rule
So
for that.
there, one of them is a bounty hunter, I believe, and he's super cool. I want to get him.
You just have like 5 of him?
He's named, so probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. They're just like one-off cool characters.
It's actually just a gang of identical twins, Adrian.
That would be cool though if they had
It
the
would be
squats.
so cool.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people in the past 4 years claim that GW's bringing back squats.
I've heard
Well,
that
they
for
did.
20 years.
Well, listen, they brought the 2 squats in Blackstone Fortress, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for brand new squat models, they have the
What are
new
they,
ones. for
Hob and
Necromunda.
Knob or
Well,
something?
aren't they? Those are technically ratlings,
Hip and
aren't
Hop.
they?
They are technically rattlings, Brian.
Oh, were they
They're not
rattlings?
actually squats. They're ratlings.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, my bad.
They have
But
tails.
they have done a couple of select things.
Yeah,
Those were cool, fun.
Those are
I played as them
sick.
in Blackstone. I love
They're
them.
super cool.
they're rad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Captain Yort. Can I create a tournament Drukhari list without Coven? Dark
Yes.
Technomancer Liquefier racks seem to be an auto-include in every list, but I doubt it will survive an FAQ. I agree with you. I doubt it'll survive an FAQ. It's very strong right now. People take it because it's like real good.
Yeah.
But you can certainly make a list without it.
Yep.
You don't need it at all.
You don't even use it at all.
I haven't even played with it.
We've never used
you
it
should.
once.
They're good.
It's addicting.
But there's other amazing stuff in that book too.
Yeah, it's just not your playstyle.
It's not my play style. Yeah, just more witches, Hellions, Incubi,
Yeah, pretty much everything.
everything. So
The whole book's good.
But yeah,
book is just
it is
great.
strong. It lets you play in a different way. It gives you more tools.
It gives you tank busting in a
gives you all
weird
kinds
way.
of things, right? Like it's safe. It lets you have this unit that's just
Yeah,
safe.
you can be safe. Yeah.
Which the army normally can't be safe. It has to put itself out there.
Yeah.
So that's the value.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't have to at all. The book is currently that good, so.
Yeah. Everything's good in it.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Captain York. Do I always take Cult of Strife and KOTBH? What's that one?
KOTBH, Cult of the Black Heart.
Cabal of the Blackheart. And shouldn't I have my whole army in transports?
Yes, transports everywhere.
Not
in
your
my
whole
opinion.
army.
I mean,
I've
pretty dang near
seen-
close.
Almost every competitive Drukhari list has every model in a transport.
Is it every single model?
I mean, not your mandrakes.
Okay.
Well, they're deep strike, right? But like, why would you not take as many raiders? Like, what?
Yeah.
You have the space in the raiders, and the raiders are broken. So you're taking the raiders. Why
Okay.
not put your models in the raiders?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, then, yeah, I think I agree with you as close as you can. I don't think it's a rule you have to have them all.
No,
like,
of course not.
If you, it's not
It's not
actually
hard and
crucial.
fast. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I personally always go Blackheart for the Raiders. Just for the Raiders, to be honest.
Yeah, and Cult of Strife is
bonkers.
absolutely the best just because
Yeah.
they have the extra stratagems.
Yeah.
And they're already great to begin with.
Yeah.
Hands down, like
Yeah.
unfair.
Cult of Strife is very, very, very good.
By the way, we had a question the other day about how can you take the Cult of Strife Warlord traits
Right.
when you're not? And I had very well explained to me actually that it seems like you can use the strat to get the Warlord traits because if you think about just your regular Warlord traits, those already say if you have this detachment as your Warlord, you can pick your Warlord. If your Warlord is in this detachment, you get the Warlord trait. They all say that all the time. If you couldn't use the strat to gain the Warlord trait, then none of them would work that way.
GW templating strikes again.
You know what it is? You know what I'm saying?
The problem is they use generic faction rules for a multi-faction book. So they used the like, oh, it's fine. We don't have to be careful because there's only Ultramarines in this book. So use a strat to give an Ultramarine Warlord to anybody in this detachment. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's a mistake.
and then-
You're saying it's a mistake.
He thinks they intended to have a restriction.
I think
They
they
all
just
say this all the time.
overlooked it because in all the other books, they didn't have to be super careful about the wording. They didn't have to say, use this strat to give an Ultramarines Warlord in this detachment that has to be Ultramarines thing, because for it to be an Ultramarines detachment,
I have
they
no
all have to be
idea
Ultramarines.
what they meant.
But they did, though.
I have no idea what they meant. It seems like they meant to allow you to do it. I think what I would be saying and what you probably would support is that I wouldn't mind if they made it a restriction.
I'd be
Certainly.
fine with that, too.
Yeah.
But
I think there's a sense in making it a restriction, especially when it's all bonuses and no drawbacks.
Right.
At least having a restriction would be something. But
Totally.
it's clear that they didn't make a restriction.
Yeah. No, because I know it was off-putting to a lot of people, myself included. It felt like something was wrong.
Like people are being gamey.
Yeah, after doing more research, I'm like, it actually makes sense because of the way that they tried to make it all work.
Right.
But
They just use the same template.
I feel fine with it now,
That's great.
actually. So just a good clarification in the ever-evolving situation of the Drukharis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they needed more.
Yeah.
And last question of the night. Is it? No, there's one more.
Okay.
It just hasn't populated yet. Thank you, Josu.
Hey.
Hi, guys. How is everyone doing today? I have
great.
ordered Admex Qatari models from Amazon. Should I build 5-man squads or 10-man squads?
For just generic,
5-man.
like,
Well, because
Qataris,
Admec
right?
boxes,
that's
the
Qatari.
sergeant's like actually pretty good.
And he's actually on a larger base, I think, even too.
no, I think that's just yours.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
They used to be.
They used to be, I think, yeah. Because they
As
were
in,
extra
like-
wounds, weren't they?
I've
Too?
know,
played the
in-
army since they came out.
Oh, okay.
No.
In
They did used to have an
7th, weren't
extra
they
wound.
like
They used to have an extra wound.
special dudes? They
Yes,
were like,
but they were
Well,
all
they
the same
certainly
base.
are special.
Yeah.
Like they have different war gear options. But
Anyways,
yeah, 5.
it doesn't matter,
Definitely
really.
5s,
Five.
right? Because you just want more units. You want to sacrifice them. They're not frontline combat units. Now, there are some strats that can make them marginally stronger. So if you're playing Metallica, that's the only time I could argue for a 10-man.
Sure.
But currently, 5-man is great all the way around, and I would probably still do that even in Metallica.
Yeah.
The book's about to come out soonish.
Yeah,
And there may be a completely different reason to do 10-man. As of right now, though, there is not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Wait for the book or take a. They're your cheap troops. You probably want them as 5.
I think so. Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
All right, I was mistaken. That actually was the last super chat.
Oh wow, nice.
Surprise ending.
Ta-ta! Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. This was a lovely Q&A.
Yeah.
After our very first Necromunda game, so we wanted to thank everyone that showed up to A, just check out what the heck Necromunda is, or B, to come out and support Necromunda and show that you want us to keep playing it.
Yeah, we only get to do specialist games like this because we get so much support.
Exactly.
Because it's a lot of work. Just for like this one game we played today, you know, it was, as I said, it was like 7 starter sets. Yeah. We had to paint all this terrain, get these gangs, get them. It's a game we don't play, so a lot of time just to learn the rules. Even just like different camera overlays and graphics. It's a lot of effort that just goes into one game like this.
Yeah.
And really, the support goes a long way.
Exactly. Yeah. So we really, really appreciate that. Once again, we have a game on Saturday. Bridger and I will be playing.
It's going to be fun.
Blood Angels versus T-Nids. Be there or be square.
It's going to be great.
Awesome. Well, have a great evening, everyone, and we'll catch you all next time on the Tabletop.